All right. Welcome to the Dad Task Force outside edition. The weather's just kind of perfect today, and since I've got some stuff that I'm filming in the studio, I didn't really want to reset everything, so it's just easier to do it out here. Just a couple of administrative things at the top. First of all, we really appreciate everything that all the support that we've gotten. Please like, subscribe, follow on Apple, on Spotify, on Facebook, on Instagram, because that helps grow numbers. Ultimately, at the end of the day, the more dads we can reach, the better off the future generations will be. And with that, how you doing?
I'm doing all right. The heat's starting to let up a little bit.
Yeah, finally.
But, yeah, I mean, I'm not going to complain about that one bit.
No.
So, yeah. What about you?
Same. We ended summer baseball, getting ready for fall ball.
Nice.
Kids are all back in school.
Yeah. It's more quiet at home.
It's definitely quiet at home. I can actually get a lot more done now than I could have, 2 weeks ago.
Right.
My only complaint is that the school has all of these parent meetings that are scheduled in the middle of the day, and it's like, I've got a job.
Yeah.
I want to just, our promo code is changing for StreamKits, right? So, we bought 3 cameras yesterday, so that way we can have 3 clean cameras moving forward. Talking to Sarkis, who is the CEO, owner, and father over at StreamKits, he mentioned to me that his costs are going down. So, for whatever it's worth to you, in this economy, like he's lowering his costs like 20%. And if he's lowering his costs at 20%, there's no need to add another 35% off of that. So we reduced our discount code to 15%. So you're still getting 35%. It's just divvied out a little bit different. So Task Force 15 at checkout now will get you that same amount of discount. But I don't know if the math is the same or not. But it's go check them out.
Directionally, still 35%.
Yeah,
so,
at face value.
Yeah.
Last week we had hard talks about suicide, and so I text Dave on every week. Hey, what do you want to talk about this week? And he goes, maybe something a little lighter.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I want to talk about just taking an interest in your kids' interests, because it's not always easy, right? Like. Especially depending on their age, like some of the stuff maybe you don't want to be interested in it, right?
You don't want to know about level 10 Pokemon cards?
Yeah, I'm not dying to find out about that. But.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah.
But that is part of, we talk about that in one of the dad classes, is that, hey, look, your kids have interests in things that excite them.
Right.
Whether you care about that particular thing or not, you have to show interest in their interest.
Absolutely.
Why is that?
Well, there's a lot to it. One, it shows that like you're not above them, and like it's not like you're the parent, they're the child, but you also like value them as a person and not just as somebody who like lives under your roof.
Tax credit.
Yeah, exactly. Not like a tax credit. And then also like it gives them, we always talk about like that safety net. It makes them feel like they're like normal, right?
Yeah.
If you like don't care about what they care about, and then like maybe their friends at school aren't crazy about it either, like they've literally got nobody in their corner and they're like, well, what the heck is wrong with me?
Yeah, that's true. So we did all that research last week about like fatherlessness and how it relates to suicide, self-destruction, substance abuse, whatever. Go back and check it out. I think it's a good episode, even though the content's pretty heavy. Now I will say this. We were talking about somebody before, right?
Right.
This can be our back to school episode or whatever. I really don't care how you want to position it. Do you worry about the safety of your kids at school?
I do at times, right? It's weird. I'll go from it being like the only thing I can think about to then like it's not in the forefront of my mind at all.
So as a dad, you have to know this as a father, and not just you, but like the people in the camera, as if there were millions of people in the camera. You can do more for the safety of your kid's school by teaching your kid to help build people up by building your kids up. Now you're like, what does that have to do with what Davon said? Well, he's talking about being interested in the things that they're interested in. So that's a selfless act.
Right. Like they mirror that.
They mirror that.
Selfless act. Yeah.
Your kids are going through things for the first time in their life, and how you respond to that sets the tone, pace, and temperature for how they respond to new things as they present themselves. If you encourage your kid to try new foods at an early age, guess what? They're going to try new foods their entire life. If you teach your kids to like learn about things that they don't understand,
right,
they're going to be lifetime learners. But if you're like, man, that's ridiculous, then guess what? That's what you get the rest of your life. And then, when your kids are going back to school and they treat other kids like that, or because they just shut it down because they have such a closed perspective, then guess what?
Yeah, they're building walls.
Building walls.
Yeah.
So what things do your kids do that you engage with but have zero interest in?
Man, it's tough to think now. Other than like Taylor Swift, like jamming out in the car. I'm not crazy about. I'm not waiting for her album to come out at midnight whenever they come out. So those kinds of things. But actually, I grew up playing baseball for a few years, and I did not love it. And so even when I was older, like I didn't really care about baseball, softball. But then my daughter, when Ava, my oldest daughter, wanted to start playing, I had already been a football coach for like 10 years at this point. And the league needed coaches, and I was like, well, hey, I got coaching experience.
Yeah,
I'll join in. And then it actually created this cool thing that like me and her could experience together.
Yeah.
Because it had been like, I don't know, 25 years since I had picked up a bat when I started coaching her team. So that's one thing. One that's not hard. Like he's 3 years old today, actually.
Happy birthday.
My 3-year-old loves monster trucks. I love anything with an engine, and so that one's like an easy one for me to get into with him.
Yeah. I don't remember how old he was. I took Garrett to Monster Jam in Oakland.
Oh, okay.
And Garrett's my youngest, and he's like, I love El Toro Loco, the bull-shaped monster truck. And I grew up in monster trucks, so I'm like, heck yeah, let's go.
Yeah.
But I like Bigfoot and the original Gravedigger, not
the four different versions of Gravedigger.
Exactly, yeah. And so I actually made a social media post at the time about him and his like interest with El Toro Loco, and the driver and his team actually, we were like responding back and forth to each other like in a chat, and it's like it was really fun. But so baseball and monster trucks. But what about number 2?
She loves. I mean, she's easy. She loves everything. Like she is interested in anything. If I'm like, hey, we're going to sit here, we're going to watch paint dry today, she'd be like, let's do it, Dad. So she's like my one that she's my road dog. She's also like the ballpark kid. So she plays, obviously, but her commitment isn't the same as my oldest daughter's commitment. Like they have multiple practices a week, multiple games on Saturdays. And so she's getting drug around at all these things. And so for her, it's like, the interest that she has in those moments. Like if she's like, hey Dad, can you let me hit really quick? Like it's not always possible, but I'll let her hit. And like, I'm focused on just giving her that attention for a little bit to also like kill that middle child,
attitude.
Like, yeah, exactly.
Or that the middle child experience. Like that's important.
Yeah.
Do your kids play school sports?
They do not play school sports. Well, that's a lie. Their main sports are not school sports. Ava, my oldest, and Zaya, my second, play basketball through the school or through, the city rec. But
okay, do you coach those?
So, I do not. You don't want to see me even touch a basketball. But yeah. What about you?
We play summer league baseball. Look, I don't coach anybody but my youngest, and that's because my oldest two, the first one is a very high-level competitive dancer and has danced competitively since she was like 5, maybe younger, but has been dancing since she was 3. So she's on like the school team, and then she does like competition stuff outside of that. Number 2 used to do dance and then quit when we moved here, and now she's just trying to figure out what exactly it is that she wants to engage with. But they all have their own thing that they're into, and that's fun. Like I like being a dance dad because it's they're exciting to watch, I guess, at times, but then it's I don't know anything about dance, so if the coach is like, oh my gosh, parents, we need one of y'all to come in and like sub coach for the day, I'm like, that ain't me.
Right. Don't even look at
I can barely touch my toes, let alone that. For the sports stuff with the youngest, like he made a decision this year, like up until I think last night, he's always said, I'm going to go to the NFL. He's only ever played flag football. He's never been really hit. So it's like, cool, man. Just, you got to work hard, dude, to get there. Like you're not naturally gifted enough to just be an NFL player. You've got to work. And then he had a really good baseball season. And now he's like, you know what? I think I'm going to go to college and just try to streamline right into the MLB. I'm like, oh my gosh. Sure, cool, man. That's fun. I support that. Like, whatever you want to do, it's gonna require a lot of work,
right?
And a lot of sacrifice of the things that you want to do. Like, you're not gonna get to play Fortnite with your buddies. You're not gonna get to, do all the water park stuff because if that's your goal, you have to put effort into it. Otherwise, you'll never achieve your goals. So I support you in your efforts, but
yeah.
So I want to, kind of the purpose of the Dad Task Force was, the idea was that equipped men equip men.
Right.
And then the follow-up is that a man can leave a hole or a man can leave a legacy. And this is a mechanism to generate opportunities for dads to engage with other dads to be better dads.
Right.
He doesn't know everything. I don't know everything. And you don't know everything. So if you don't know what you don't know, you'll never actually achieve the goal you're looking for.
Right.
So thinking about this, right? So we're about to launch our first dad training thing. And it's about, communication, how to talk to your kids and meet them where they are. And I started thinking like, well, maybe just to soft roll it, we give like a free guide.
Yeah.
Right. A self-awareness, self-control guide. And the only reason I even bring it up right now, because we're not quite ready to launch, is that you said to connect with kids about things that matter to them that don't matter to you. Like, be interested in your kids' interests.
Right.
One of these things that we talk about in the free guide is you have a line in the sand, the things that you care about, the things that are family rule breakers, things that are violations of your moral and ethical code of conduct for your family. But what happens when your son comes home in 10 years and he's like, I'm going to dye my hair blonde?
Right.
I mean, every year Garrett comes home with a new idea of what color he wants his hair to be.
Yeah.
It's like, does that matter to you?
It doesn't matter to me. it's funny. Like, I would probably be shocked to be like, all right, you know, like, how do we get here?
Yeah.
But like,
why?
the big thing is like, there's a couple of things. One, you got to remember when you were 10, 15, however old you were at that time, and like what kind of stuff went through your head and how you felt if your parents just like automatically shot it down, right? So it's relating back to that. And then it's also like, if you do shoot that down right away and you're just like, no, and it's not like a hard rule like in your family, like how likely is that kid to come and tell you anything after that, right?
Yeah, that's the whole point. And I think that's the smart perspective. I don't think I think as long as it's not an ethical or a legal issue, I mean, it's a phase.
Right.
What do you care?
Yeah.
You know, you're stifling their perspective, right? So it's a free guide, so we'll give some of the details away right now. But like, if I can't expect my kids to go into the world and solve problems, compromise, navigate like complicated, complex situations, if the only example they've ever had is it's my way or no way. This episode is brought to you by StreamKits at StreamKits.com. If you're into content creation, whether you're a streamer, a podcaster, an influencer, or you have a more traditional production need for your content, StreamKits has you covered. From the solo IRL backpack man on the street interview kit, all the way up to a more studio quality 4-camera, 4-audio, stable mount system, they have what you're looking for. Look, in the last year, I filmed plenty of training content for some pretty big clients, and what I started off with was my phone. Then I upgraded to a fancy DSLR, but I had to buy tripods, I had to buy lenses, I had to buy audio interfaces and microphones, and as the camera upgrade or the phone upgrades, now I've got to buy different interfaces so that audio continues to work, and it just keeps draining the bank account for equipment just to put the content out. Now, with StreamKits, you get everything that you need in every package. And you get a camera, you get a couple of lenses, you get the mounting equipment, you get the audio interface, unless you choose not to get the audio interface, and you get high quality production level equipment that's super affordable to allow you to start streaming your content today. Now let's just put it into perspective. The most expensive kit on their website is 4 cameras, 4 microphones, 4 headsets, all of the interface stuff that all comes together and comes out one USB cord into your computer. $4,199. Go to Amazon and get a dual camera entry-level streaming setup. You're gonna look at about $4,500. Do the math. And it gets better. If you want a 3-camera entry-level broadcasting system for your production quality, $15,000. But StreamKits is a third of that price with 4 cameras, 4 microphones, 4 headsets, all the stuff you need to put it together to make it look cool and then get you on the road to streaming today. Those other systems are great. They probably work really well, but you have to have a learning curve to understand how to use the camera, how to set it up, how to manage lighting, how to manage the data transfer, how to get everything to interoperate and connect so that it shows up on your computer. That takes time. The more time it takes to learn these things, the less time you have to actually put your content out, which then is affecting your bottom line because now you're not making money on your content because you're stuck at the very beginning trying to get ready to run the race. StreamKit systems offer a simple plug-and-play design that shouldn't take you more than 5 minutes to put together and get going. And with discount code TASKFORCE15, you get an additional 15% off of production quality equipment that's so easy to use because it's plug-and-play that you can start sharing your content with the rest of us right now. So go to StreamKits.com and enter TASKFORCE15 at checkout.
Right.
So if they're following your example as a father, what example are you setting?
Yeah. Are you setting one of just like, this is the way it is and don't ask questions?
Look,
or
falling on my own sword, I hate the current clothing trends of today's kids. I didn't know that homelessness was a look.
That was going to be my comment, is that it's not. They just go to school whatever they slept in. And
oh my gosh. And there's a comedian, his name's like T. Murphy, I think is I don't know what his Instagram handle is, but he has a great like little like segment. He's like, don't spend your money on anything. Go buy like cheap sweats and Crocs and just like go. It's like these kids would wear a trash bag right now if they could.
100%.
It's like, look, you are a representative of the family. You're going out into public. What happens? Let's just say, for example, there's 3 feet of snow on the ground and your car breaks down.
Right.
Now, that's what you're going to wear? Shorts, a hoodie, and Crocs with socks up to your knees? like, come on, man. And it drives me up the wall, but it's not a fight worth fighting.
Right.
Now, I can set boundaries. Like, you can dress like that once a week.
Right.
Yeah, I'm giving you something, but I'm also trying to establish like
some sort of boundary. Yeah.
But it drives me up the wall. It's just like, oh my gosh. But at the end of the day, it's not a heart issue. It's not a legal issue. It's not a moral issue. It's not an ethical issue. It's a style. I mean, look at the 90s kids and what we wore.
Right.
I mean, I didn't wear those clothes, but
some of it's coming back into style.
It's all coming back into style.
Yeah.
Stupid looking pants with holes in it and
yeah,
all of those looks like that, like things are cyclical. So, but it goes away,
right?
And it changes. So, are you more focused as a dad about trying to change somebody's behavior because you don't like it, or are you more focused on trying to develop character that matters?
Right. And you talked about it when we talked about dating.
Yeah.
Like the same kind of sentiment of, you've got to let them, like, your job as a parent is to like get them as many experiences as possible. And if you never let them make a dumb decision, like you don't want their first dumb decision to be when they're 18 and then they end up in jail or, with a kid or something that they're not ready for. Yeah. So, like they can make bad decisions as long as they're like you said, like their life's not in danger. They're not breaking any laws or anything like that. So
I think that's just like, and you get to, and now, depending on where they are in their age group, you can kind of moderate their experiences, right? Like you're gonna do what with who,
right?
When, and like just
be
prepared, right? Just be prepared, but have self-awareness and self-control, and then if you've got a hill to die on, I guess make sure that it's worth dying on.
Right. Yeah, because I mean, hopefully it never gets to that point, but those hills that you die on sometimes could be like the dividing factor between you and your kid, depending on how strongly they feel about something.
Yeah.
And that's obviously something that's like when they're older, like teenagers and up that way. My 9-year-old threatens to move out probably once a month over something she feels strongly about in that moment, but it's not getting there yet.
She's still there, right?
Yeah, she's still there.
Yeah.
So.
It's funny. Like, I think we've all been there. Like, I'm going to pack my shit and leave. And mom and dad are always like, well, there's the door.
Yeah.
And, I think that's you're establishing, like, who you are as a person and what you stand for and what you don't stand for. Like, we're talking with one of the kids right now about, like, where are your feet? Like, what do you believe that you're worth? Or, what do you believe that you're willing to stand up on?
Right.
I don't expect you to know who you are, and I don't expect you to have like this clear idea of your morality or your ethics or your spirituality, because your brain is developing, and like all of these experiences, like they're not yours, and you have to have life experience to make a decision that works for you that you can carry on.
Right.
Not to talk religion too much into this, but I had a pastor once say there's no grandparents in heaven.
Ooh. So
you don't get to go to heaven based on the fact that you know me or that you're part of my lineage.
Right.
Like, that's a personal choice. And I don't want to be a stumbling block for you towards your spiritual growth by browbeating you with this idea that you have to believe this way.
Right.
Because it's going to turn you away from it, and it's not going to give you the opportunity to experience it yourself.
Yeah, it's got to be authentic.
It's got to be authentic. And I think go watch marketing people on Instagram, like how to grow your podcast, how to grow your social media brand, how to grow whatever it is. The only thing that they typically have in common is be authentic.
Right.
Like connect, like that, don't force it, just be who you are.
Right. If you don't actually believe in it, you're not going to convince somebody else to believe in it.
No.
So.
Yeah. Which is why when we look at sponsors that come through, we say, like, do we believe in this brand? StreamKits was easy because, one, we needed cameras.
Right.
And two, talking with Sarkis was really simple. And we all aligned pretty much philosophically, and the idea of being able to plug and play and do cool stuff that makes my kids excited about what they're doing.
Right.
It's a no-brainer.
Yeah.
If you're you have classic muscle cars and you think, man, I should sponsor these guys and then they can drive my muscle cars around, then like we get behind that idea.
Right. Yeah. If you got some muscle cars, we're probably like-minded folks.
Yeah, American or foreign, I don't care. Like Porsches.
Yeah. Anything
Ferraris,
fast.
Yeah. If it makes loud noises when you push the skinny pedal on the right, then that aren't clunky, then we're down.
Right.
Same like if you're a firearms manufacturer and you're like, I support school safety and I want these dads to be prepared, then by all means, like we'll take your discount code PEW15 or whatever it is. Like,
yeah,
we love you guys.
Yeah.
Because the idea is equipping men means that men have to be equipped with different skill sets, different attitudes, different perspectives. And the other aspect of this that we never really get to is like, you've got to be willing to be wrong.
Oh, 100%.
I posted a part of my advertisement for the dad communication class, DadCom, 21 days to a better relationship with your kid. Today is part of our story on our Instagram and our Facebook page. And it was like, the only thing standing between you and a good relationship with your kid is your ego.
Oh yeah.
It's like, come on.
Right. Swallow that pride.
Just suck it up, Buttercup. It's time to be dudes.
Right. 100%.
I don't know if we've talked about this already, but iron sharpens iron, so one man sharpens another. Only works if one of the two pieces of iron in the sharpening process is harder than the other one.
Right.
Like there's aspects of your life that you're like stronger, tougher, harder than me, and vice versa.
Right.
So that's where we hone each other's skills and our abilities. And if you're like, nope, I need to be the hardest mother effer in the room, then guess what? You're only going to become butter because you're missing the totality of the picture. And Buttercup, you're soft.
And it's not like going back to the authentic thing. Like nobody's the hardest guy in the room 24/7.
No,
like just be yourself.
I've had some really like bad dudes in the room. Like just like they've done stuff. You can see it in their eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Just done stuff. And like, but you know what? They lack the soft skills.
Right.
Which means it was you say this is it. Like it or not, this is it. And guess what? As that kid develops and grows, like, yeah, that's just who my dad is. This is it. But there's no relationship. It's an obedience relationship. At some point, they become adults, and you don't want an obedient adult. You want an independent thinker that says, "Hey, Dad, hey, whoa, let's have this conversation. Let's think about this. Let's expand this perspective and see what we can get out of it." Like, sure, some of the stuff you're saying makes sense, but I think that you're missing critical components that could fill in the blanks.
Right. Yeah. It's like, reverting back to like animal kind of ways. It's like if you're either going to be the type of relationship where there's like two males that coincide and grow their like pack or whatever together.
Yeah.
Or there's going to be the one where like, you're the alpha line and you always got to be able to prove yourself, and then your son or we're going to keep with sons for the simplicity of the lion reference here, but gets older and then Like, if there's no place for them because you're so macho and like not willing to like budge, or like it's my way or the highway, you're either gonna butt heads and that kid's gonna leave, or you're gonna have to like learn to.
Yeah, there's only one macho man and he's dead.
Yeah, that's sad.
It is sad. I loved him. However, I'll say this: look, for all you guys out there that get alpha tattooed on your chest, I've never met an alpha male that had to tell everybody that they were the alpha.
No,
you just kind of know it.
Yeah,
and just one of the things we used to use when we teach hostage and crisis negotiators is that we're working with SWAT officers is if I give you a hammer and everything starts to look like a nail, the first thing I want to do is take that hammer away from you.
Right.
Because you are going to miss a critical piece of information because you're assuming it's something that you hit with the hammer.
Right. When
in fact, you should have used a different tool to address that problem.
100%.
Okay, take a quick break. Let's see where we are with time.
Yeah, we got to be close.
Yeah, we are good. We're good. Cool. It's just for timing efforts. All right. Anything you want to add to the greater good this week?
It's the greater good. I mean, just adding on and putting like a little finishing note on my soapbox here. Just take an interest in what your kids like, and it could be something they like for 5 minutes or 5 years. But if you don't insert yourself now, like they're not going to insert you later on.
Yeah, that's true.
That's the big thing. Like the longer you wait, the harder it is to actually be a part of those things. So
yeah, and this is a thought based on what he's saying. Like, if you want to look at it from an intelligence collection standpoint, right? Like the spy perspective, taking an interest in what your kid likes gives you insight to the person that they believe that they are. So then you get to start crafting your messaging and your communication style and the activities that you do with your kid in a manner that connects with them and really like fortifies that rapport.
Right.
So whether you want to do it or not, it's worth it in the end.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, you know what? I don't have anything else to add to that because I think you said it all.
Love it.
Cool, man. All right. We'll see you next time.
See y'all later.